this man that in my dream was portraying to be a man of God. He was portraying to be a prophet. He was portraying to be an evangelist. Hi everyone, God bless you. I'm going to share a dream that I had 2 days ago, December 27th of this year, 2024. And I'm going to end it with a message that I feel in my spirit to share with everyone, especially the people of God. In this dream, there was 2 people, an aunt and a niece. The aunt was getting ready for a date. A date can symbolize affairs, okay? The aunt and the niece is a type of family relationship. This aunt and the children, with the daughters, they were all going to go with her. They were going to accompany her. They were going to support her. I saw the place that they were living at, and it looked like a hotel resort. It was very nice, very fancy, not the typical normal place. The niece was told the name of the person that the aunt was going to see, and instantly the niece knew who this person was. So there was fame to this person. The aunt mentioned that he was wise, but that he was much younger, and she was a bit embarrassed and ashamed and worried when she said it. So here I can see that the age of him being young is more towards not being spiritually mature. And the niece told her that that person is married, right? And that person has children. The niece knew about this person, and so the niece had discernment. She was able to discern that he was lying and that there was more truth that needed to be told. She said that the aunt said that he was going to leave her, and she showed a ring that was given to her by this man. A ring in a dream can symbolize a promise or promises made, right? Vanity and worldliness. Apparently, he had made promises that he was going to leave his wife, but the niece was able to discern that there was lies, and the niece was concerned. But she knew this to be true because this person was well known. He would share his life publicly. The niece started to feel awkward and worried, but even though she felt this way, she still got ready and supported her. And that in a way shows how even though she knew something was wrong, she was still partaking in it, and she was being led astray. The niece started rushing, was kind of interested in meeting this person because she knew who this person was because he had fame. She started doing her makeup. She was rushing that she ended up looking like a clown. Okay, so here we can see how sometimes things are very fast-paced and rushed into, and that's when we make mistakes. And then you don't end up looking like yourself anymore. You start acting up, right? Acting a fool. Somehow this man ended up coming into their house, into where they lived, because the plan was that they were all going to go out and they were all going to go watch a movie, on some type of special date. But he ended up coming into their house. Okay, so he changed the plans and he lied. So the niece was worried. She was concerned. She was wondering, why did he change the plans? Why did he come into the house? So she started to see red flags, right? They ended up going into the dining room. The niece was there first, actually finishing up her makeup, worried about her appearance. She was surprised and a bit jumpy when he came in to the dining room and he said hi. She turns around and she sees him and she says, "Hi, nice to meet you." Right away, when she saw the man, she could tell this man was not the man that he was saying he was. She knew his appearance was completely different. He didn't look like the person that he said he was. Okay, first of all, his hair was different. I understood that to symbolize rebellion because the man he was saying that he was didn't even have hair, and he had kind of medium wavy hair. He had a bit long hair. And so right off the bat, she knew okay, this is not even how his hair looks. This is not the person. He looked a bit heavier physically. He was dressed really, really, really fancy. Nothing like the person that he supposedly would dress. I remember specifically that he had a gold watch. Also, his fancy dress attire shows more about how he cares about his appearance and how it's more about the outside, kind of it's all about show, for him. And then the gold watch for me was kind of like a time of alertness, kind of like a time where we are going to see something happen. Something's going to happen, and so we need to be watchful. There you go. We need to be watchful. They walked up to each other, and she saw him looking at her from bottom to top, like checking her out, trying to analyze her. And then all the other girls came in, and the aunt came in. Everybody was looking fabulous. Everybody playing a part and looking nice and fancy and good and beautiful. Then this is when he asked the niece how old she was. And the niece smiled but stayed quiet, and she didn't say right away. But then he laughed, and that's when she ended up saying her age. Then she said, I'm almost 40, right? So she wasn't going to be 40, but she was almost 40. And I thought that was very important. And I took that as a sign. And we know that in the Bible, the number 40 can symbolize a time of trial, a time of temptation, and a time of testing. We know that Jesus went through some testing those 40 days and 40 nights. So he smiled. He smiled, but it wasn't like a nice, friendly smile. It was kind of like when you're about to trap someone, or when you know something that someone doesn't know. The niece noticed that the aunt started to notice this man talking to her and paying attention to her too much. And the aunt started acting awkward and started making faces and started acting kind of like untrusting the niece now because of the attention that she was getting. So the niece realized that, and quickly she moved out of the way to not cause any more attention. And that's when everybody decided to sit down in the table there, except for her. She did not sit down. So a table can symbolize fellowship and community. The niece decided to go get her husband first. She thought, I need to get my husband first, before sitting down, before joining them. I need to go get my husband first. This is a weird part, but she took off her pants because her pants were big and loose and they were falling off, okay? That's a very intimate detail. But quickly she felt exposed and knew that the moment she would walk away to go get her husband, he would be staring at her and he would be watching her every move, watching what she was doing, keeping her eye on her, because he had bad intentions. And so when she realized that, when she could discern that, she decided to get her pants again, and she asked for her pants. The girls gave them to her. They didn't know where the pants were, and they said, where are they? And this man that in my dream was portraying to be a man of God, he was portraying to be a prophet. He was portraying to be an evangelist. This man knew where she had left her pants. Very, very intimate. Okay, and so that's when they gave her pants and she put them back on, and she went out. She got out of there. She removed herself. She went out to go look for her husband. And on the way to her going to her husband, I saw her carrying a baby. She was caring for the baby. She wanted to get the baby safe, but she was like going through all these turns around, like different roads, and trying to find her way back to her husband, back to safety. She wanted to get to safety, okay? So a husband, symbolically, spiritually, we can see that as someone that's the head, someone that's the protector, someone that's gonna help you feel safe, and specifically Jesus, okay? We know that he is our husband. He is the head of the church. He's our father. He's our protector. He's everything for us, but he is the head. The whole taking off the pants, I feel it's kind of like when you're vulnerable and you went through a vulnerable moment and you realized it, and then you felt ashamed and exposed. But then you want to pick yourself up. You want to make it right. And someone that knows, maybe they're the one that caused it, and in a way, right? Maybe you cared about what they thought or you wanted their approval. They get satisfaction out of that. And so they're kind of in a way very manipulative, and they're watching you. They pick their victims, okay? They can pick their victims, and they can try, even though they'll know which ones fall for it and which ones don't. So something like that, something related to that. We have to have discernment, right? We need to be careful. A baby could symbolize some type of project or type of ministry or type of business, or something that you're going to take care of, that you're going to nurture, that's been given to you to take care of, and that's going to eventually grow into something. And, when you have all these twists and turns, you're trying to find your way. You're trying to see what's the right way. But the intention was good. The intention was to get to safety and to get to the husband, so that's good. We just need to have discernment, and we need to stand firm in our faith. Like, she did not sit down at the table right away and fellowship with them, but she decided to stand firm in her faith, and she decided to go with the discernment after seeing the red flags, and she decided to do what was right and seek the husband. This dream that I had was about a man that was a false man of God. He was a false prophet, and apparently there's going to be a time coming where we're going to see, there's going to be a lot of false prophets, and we're going to see that some might be led astray, some might be fellowshipping with them in their community, and some might stand firm in their faith and realize that they might have been led astray somehow, or somehow they might have been influenced, but that they're going to choose to stand firm in their faith. They're going to take hold of what God has given them, whatever ministry God has given them, whatever business, whatever project, whatever it is God has given you, that trusted you with your gifts and your talents, and you're going to try to find your way back home to your husband. You're going to try to find your way back to your husband. That is what God cares about. That is the main message, that you must always seek Jesus first, okay? Not anything else but Jesus. And I'm going to continue with sharing how we can beware of false prophets and how Jesus warned about them, and how we can spot a false prophet, and give some actual biblical examples of some false prophets in the Bible.